our friend Rocky French, our farmer scientist, will demonstrate how to test freshwater for alkalinity. First, may I ask Rocky, why do you have to test the freshwater for alkalinity?
Well, alkalinity really is one of the most simplest and the most important tests that you want in a freshwater source. The reason being is you want to know the amount of calcium carbonates that's in your water, which has a direct effect in hatchery operations and culture of freshwater fish.
Halimbawa, mag-start ako ng hatchery ng tilapia. How important is this test?
It's a must. You cannot start anything, especially related to hatchery work, without testing your water quality. So you cannot use soft water if the hardness is low. You cannot use it because this water will affect the types of therapeutic measures that you need to do in your fish. Say you hatch a fry and you want to treat your fry with copper sulfate. If your alkalinity is low, within the range of 80 below, the copper sulfate has a toxic effect on your water and your fish.
Okay.
So it's important that you know the minimum limits of your calcium carbonates in your water because it affects them severely.
How long would it take for you to be able to determine whether this type of water is viable or ideal for hatchery operations?
Well, all you need is if you don't have a source of water yet, what you do is you go around and look for adjacent wells that are closely in the same place, wherein you can take a sample and do your test. It's very simple, basic test. You get a water sample, about 5 ml, and then you put some of your chemicals and you titrate other types of chemicals, and then once the color is attained, then you read how much of these chemicals that you titrate reads, and you have it there.
Okay. So we have two samples here, Rocky, no? One from my well, this one,
Yes.
and the other from the well of my brother, Colonel
Yeah,
Pat.
Pat,
Okay.
yeah.
Can we conduct the test now?
Sure. Yeah.
Sige.
Do the works. This is my
Assistant.
assistant, Joyce, and I've been training her to do this simple test, which means that
So ano yan? Ano yan? Anong nilagay mo dyan? Ano karami yan?
that's 5 ml of the water from your adjacent well,
Okay.
and then you drop this tablet. Which
Anong
is-
tabletes yan?
What's the name of that tablet? It's let me. It's big CGMR indicator tablet, and it turns the water into bluish, greenish.
This is your kit.
Yeah, it's a simple kit for freshwater testing,
Aha.
wherein you can test that one.
Saan mo binili yan?
I got this from US.
Okay.
Swirl mo.
So, ngayon, hinulog mo na, Joyce, yung ano, yung tablet. And then, bakit nagiging blue,
Well,
Rocky?
it's because of the chemical reaction of that tablet to your water.
Alright, okay. And then, what do you do next?
And then you get some of these indicators also. And as you can see, your titrator is graduated from 0 to 150. So what you do is you take some of these indicators all the way to 150 grade, and stick it inside that. So while you drop that indicator. This will
Ah,
turn.
so ito yung measure mo.
There you
Ayan
go.
yung-
That's where
ayan
you
parang-
show
parang
where
measurement
it
mo.
changes the color to the desired color.
What is the desired color?
Purple.
Purple.
Yeah.
So once you reach your purple,
Then you stop.
You stop.
And then you read your. It will tell you how many ppm or milligrams per liter of calcium carbonate.
okay,
You know,
nag-purple
it's
na.
purple.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, okay, what does that indicate? Anong number ang nandiyan?
When you read, you
Ha?
read
100.
100
Anong
between 100 to 120. Yeah.
Okay, anong ibig sabihin yan?
So, ibig sabihin yan, you have 120 parts per million calcium carbonates in your water, which is a good. Not really that great, but it's good to start with.
Okay. So halimbawa, hindi tumama, hindi nag-purple or naubos yan bago nag-purple.
Well, you also wanted to know because there are measures that you can do to increase your calcium carbonate. In
What do
your
you do?
water.
Halimbawa, kulang calcium carbonate mo.
You remember, I'm always looking for all of your limes, typical limes. Take that lime that I showed you. So meaning, once you have that lime, you can, because basically your lime is calcium carbonates and a little bit of magnesium. So what you do is you introduce that lime in a level wherein you hit the desired calcium carbonate in your water.
So ano ang ideal, is there a measurement for pH for ideal hatchery?
pH is different. It's got nothing to do with alkalinity. Alkalinity is the measure of hardness. pH is the power of your hydrogen ions in the water. So the only term that is closely related that people gets confused is when you have a neutral and then it goes to be on the higher grade and then you say it's alkaline, but it's got nothing to do with alkalinity. And then it goes down, then it's acidic. But here, what we're trying to test is really a measure of hardness in your water.
Okay.
So there you go.
Hardness in the water, no?
Yeah. Because if you drink rainwater, which has no hardness, then you lose your teeth and your bones. If you drink even this, when we tested the water that you guys are drinking, it still got a little bit of calcium carbonate. So that is so important. You want to raise fish in their environment. You know that environment. You want to plant things in the soil. You got to know the soil. You don't.
So
make
hindi
wild
ibig sabihin
guesses.
dahil may tubig ka, pwede ka na mag-aalaga ng isda.
No. You run into serious problems.
Okay. So that's a very basic requirement, no, for
Basic requirement if you have common sense. Number one requirement.
okay. So this is the simple alkalinity test conducted by Rocky French
And Joyce.
and Joyce. Now using this
Simple kits.
simple kit. What about the seawater? What do you need to test? What do you want to determine? We got some samples of seawater from Tukuran and Sultan Naga de Boporo.
Unfortunately, I don't have my refractometer. I left it in my place in Davao.
Ano ang hinahanap mo sa tubig dagat?
Salinity is basically very, very important. You want to know the salinity during rainy season and the salinity during dry season. But it's quite normal in the Philippines that your salinity ranges from 28 to 32 something non pure seawater. However, if you have a river that is drained towards the seawater wherein your salinity fluctuates, goes up and down, then you can really raise a lot of different types of fish because now you have salinities that you can read between 8 to 22.
Ano ang based on the salinity of the waters in the Philippines? Ano ang mga ideal na mga isda na pwedeng i-raise?
Well, all types of fish that thrive in the ocean, if there's a technology that has been discovered in the field of hatching them and raising them, you could literally raise them. All over the world, they've been raising all kinds of fish, from pampano to snappers to fish that you would never believe could be raised in this type of an environment.
So
that's
okay,
basically
talking about
mariculture.
seawater, na sumama ka sa akin sa marami natin pag-iikot.
Yes.
What is your view in as far as the potentials of the Philippines in producing fish in salt water?
Well, Philippines is really suited for mariculture. You have lots of coves, you have clean seawater, and you have all the raw materials that can be used, like your giant bamboos and any other bamboo family that can be used for structure to hang your nets. Or you can use this modern way of doing mariculture also by using this Filipino-Norwegian design structures. So everything is here, but one of the most important thing is you don't have cold water. Whereas in other parts of the sea, you have cold seawater and warm seawater. So it's very site-specific what fish you can raise at a certain level of time. In here, you can raise like bangus all year round. That's why they're very successful.
Whole year round.
Whole year round. That's why they're very successful in Malalag.
Very good. So, my dear friends, pinakita po ni Rocky sa atin yung simple test, no? Alkalinity test ng freshwater. Kasi ang sinasabi niya, hindi porke may tubig ka sa likod ng bahay mo, pwede ka na mag-alaga ng tilapia.
Correct.
O pwede ka na mag-alaga ng hito na profitable. No?
Yes.
Pwede mabuhay siguro, pero hindi profitable. No?
Not optimum conditions.
So, sinasabi niya, kailangan talagang magkaroon ka ng test. Rocky, this is a simple kit.
Correct.
Okay? Would you be able to share with our viewers kung saan pwede bilhin to?
You can buy it in US. The company is Lamont.
Okay.
This is a French company.
Alright.
And they're one of the most
Okay, tingnan natin yan. Okay.
reliable.
So, ito yung
Yeah.
aquaponics test kit. Code 3637. Lamont, no?
Yes.
So, binili mo sa Amerika to. How much did you buy this?
I've been using this for a long time. They're fairly cheap. They're like $200-300.
$300.
Yeah, there's even a more sophisticated kit which is really designed for fish farmers. They call it the fish farmer freshwater kit, and then you have another kit for the salt water.
Okay.
And I could teach a 9-year-old to do this in a matter of minutes. You don't need scientists to do this. You don't need to go anywhere. You just buy the kit, follow the rules, and then it'll guide you what to do in your next venture.
Very good. So, mga kaibigan, babalikan ko. Basic, no? Recap tayo. Sinasabi ni Rocky French, hindi porke may tubig yung likod ng bahay mo, yung farm mo. Pwede ka nang tumalon at mag-alaga ng tilapia. You have to test. No? Number 2, sinasabi niya, Philippine conditions, ideal for raising and growing bangus and even tilapia and other fish species all year round. So we go back to the premise that I've always said. No? Ang premise ko is, we don't need to import fish. We can raise it year round. But we have to change our policies, we have to change our mindset, and most of all, we have to support our aquaculture, mariculture, and fishery sector. Mula po rito sa Kidapawan City, ako po si Farm Boy Manny Piñol, nagsasabing, sige lang, let's go on. Let's go on with our advocacies and let's continue educating the Filipino people. Salamat po.